Sunday, and you just focus on renewing the three energies, or even the four energies. You take some time to have fun with friends and so on. You take some time to think about your goals, to be quiet, to meditate. Just to make sure that all levels of these energies will be high for the next week. And here's the most important question in the time management. It's what's important. It's the same thing that goes here. If you have 200 pages of marketing book, the real question is what's important from that. And I talked with Alexandro during the break, and I compared this thing to a drink, for example. You have water, and you have apple juice, right? And here you have water and apple juice on these 200 pages. You have it mixed up. Your mind doesn't know really what to focus on because it's water with apple juice. But what they will ask on the exam is only the apple juice. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to prioritize, take only the apple juice from this water. And that's the same thing at work. Your ability to select the most important task for this very moment and do it is huge. Because so many times we do something that is not the most important. I'm going to give you an example of, let's say, you start a new company and you create your own website. Now, the most important thing about a website, for example, your customers are already asking for your website and you don't have it. And you say, okay, next week I will have the website because I need to work with my graphic designer to move this thing 5 pixels in this direction, and to change the font from one to the other, and to put this text up here, and then to do this animation that does nothing, you know? So if somebody is focused on not important stuff, that's really bad for productivity. The most important thing is that the website is there, okay? You can go to the Word document, save the Word document as a website, upload on the server, 80% of the job is done. And then, if you have a time, which you shouldn't, then you go and you play with the colors or whatever, which is not really that relevant. The same thing goes for example, using the budget. If you have a budget and you set up a company, and don't go for $1,000 logo design, because you have some other things, like make sure you're making money first, right? So the ability to find the important thing and then do it is critical for your success. Those are the two big enemies of efficiency and productivity in today's world. Distractions and interruptions. What's a distraction? Well, let's say you want to study for the exam. You open the computer and you think, I'll just log into Facebook for 5 minutes. I just want to see, what's going on. 3 hours later, you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, there's this exam tomorrow. Oh my god, right? So those are distractions. Or you just want to check the news. Or you just want to, make yourself a cup of coffee or something. You're just distracting yourself. You have these habits that you want to avoid the real work that needs to be done, so you distract yourself. For example, a very common distraction is doing something less important than the most important thing. You know that the exam is the most important, but you will go and you will be like, okay, I'll maybe underline the topics in my notes or something. And I just don't feel like studying right now. Because all these energies are not maybe on the right level. So you need to look at your energies, decide what to do with them, to make sure that you have over 5, right? Over 5 is good to work efficiently. Below that, you're wasting your time. You will spend 3 hours studying something you can learn in 40 minutes. And then interruptions. So distractions are your own habits, your own traps that you set for yourself to avoid doing things. But interruptions are other people input. So somebody's going to call you, and you get the email. If you have the setting of checking emails all the time, or open Facebook or something, somebody else is going to come and take your time when you should be spending it differently. It's very important for managers as well as they deal with a lot of interruptions. So the idea is to have uninterrupted time when you work, right? And avoid the gray zone, not relaxed, not less important than the most important. Now I want to talk a little bit about stress-free productivity, which is introduced by the book Getting Things Done. The concept is, well, there are a lot of concepts there, but for example, in 19th century, if you had some work to do, it wasn't that stressful. And the reason why is, let's say you have two places, like two houses, and your job is to move the wine bottles from one house to the other, right? You have 20 bottles. You have 20 bottles of wine. After you move 10 bottles, you see clearly that you are half done, okay? So those were the projects of 19th century. You could see easily how much you threw the project. Now the problem is, right now, if you have projects that are kind of, you know, abstract. For example, you organize a conference. You don't really know if you were half done or not. In last minute, the CEO comes in, he looks at your poster and he says, oh, we can't do it like this. This must be different, this must be different. So now, you know, you thought you had like 90% done. Now you're in the beginning, you have 4% done. In last minute, and things like that. It causes tremendous stress. The fact that you don't really know where you are in a project. And then the idea that David Allen came up with to solve this problem was to think about your projects once a week, doing something called weekly review. So you have a list of your projects, project number 1, project number 2, and so on. And to each project, you need to assign a new next action. So for example, I have a project to learn Spanish. New action will be to find free internet course in Spanish, okay? Find the course. So this is my action. So during the week, I don't think again about, oh, I need to learn Spanish and this and this and that. I just look at this one. What do I need to do? I need to find course. And I sit down and I find a course. It's straightforward. I don't need to think about it. It's not abstract, it's concrete. That's what allows me to be as productive as here, as they were. I can see clearly what to do, why, and I don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing the whole scenario. So this is one of the ideas of stress-free productivity. There are many others. There is the 2-minute rule that if you can, for example, answer an email in 2 minutes, you should do it instead of putting it in your special folder to answer things later. Okay, maybe this idea will be enough for right now. And then you have 2 other ways to get more time. And those ways are mostly from the book 4-Hour Workweek. So you can delegate stuff. When does it make sense? Let's say you make 50 euros per hour. You're very good, you're executive or whatever, you make 50 euros per hour. Now, there are some things during your day that can be delegated to other people for 10 euros per hour. Like shopping, like cooking, like cleaning, like all kinds of things, okay? So the idea is, if you make 50 per hour, you really shouldn't do these things. You're killing your productivity if you do these things. You have to hire somebody to do that for you, for this less amount of per hour, so that you can be more productive where you really, really are. The whole idea of specialization, that we have, you know, our special thing, the one is the doctor, the one is the lawyer, and the one is the computer scientist, deals with this idea, so that we don't have to all do everything, but we can specialize. But like one step further is delegating everything that is below your money per hour, right? And then automating, it goes for businesses more than for normal people, but for example, you can automate the way that your email program segregates the mail. Let's say you have people from your company that write you. You can set a rule in a program that if the addresses are from the company, it will put it in the folder the company. And if this is from your grandmother, it will go to the family folder. And if this is from somebody else, it will go to a different folder. And if this is whatever else, so that when you check your email, you will have different folders and you will see, okay, I have 2 emails from my family, okay, I'll deal with that later. I have 3 emails from important business partners, I will deal with that now. And this is an automated process, because if you have all the emails in one page, you have the same problem like in the book. You have to search and then you're not sure if you found the right one or not. Okay, I'll give you another concept for this previous slide because I just thought about it. The big